Well, you kind of dove into like 3 like masterpieces, so no wonder
I did,
you
yeah,
ended up
true.
having like such a. I mean, you just dove right in, man. Like
Yeah,
those
Sony
are
got me.
games that most people don't always start with. You know, they start
Sony
out with
got
like
me.
Resogun, and then they move
Yeah.
into like something huge after that. Because like all of the early adopters of the PS4, we were playing Assassin's Creed Black Flag, which was like all right, and then
Yep.
Resogun, and I think those were definitely 2 launch titles, and then God of War and some of these big AAA games weren't exactly right away. So you
Hmm.
had a pretty interesting entrance into the PS4.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And actually, surprisingly, going back to a game we briefly spoke about, which is Horizon Zero Dawn,
Yeah.
um, that was like one of the first big games for the PS4 that was like everybody loved it.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't touch it until now. I just picked it up for $12.
It's worth every penny.
Wow, that's a really good value.
Yeah, I really like the game because that's the complete edition too. It comes with everything. I think there's a DLC too. It's
Yeah.
like the
Frozen Wilds.
yeah, Frozen Wilds. That's
Yeah.
the one. Um, I I really like the game. The gameplay is super fun. And I told Drew this too. The more aggressive I was playing in that game, the more like literally the better I was doing.
Yeah.
I for bigger enemies and stuff, I tended to kind of sit back, um, try to get myself in a good position. But then like I found myself literally the more aggressive I was being, and setting traps and really getting in there, like nailing them to the ground. It was like I was doing way better. I wasn't dying as much. So it's a pretty interesting game that way. I am having a tough time getting into the story.
Well,
I don't think they used motion capture for this game, and sometimes the characters seem a little robotic, which isn't it doesn't stray me from the game. I'm still playing it, still enjoying it, but it is. I am still kind of having a tough time getting involved into the story.
so there's a couple things to unpack here. Regarding the aggressiveness of your play style, I think one of the strengths of Horizon is it can really be catered to whatever play style you want. If you want to be more aggressive, you can do that.
Oh, for sure.
If you want to sit back and snipe and be a little bit more sneaky, you can do that. And as you get further in the game, you'll unlock more armor, more weapons, and develop different techniques that are going to allow you to really fine tune the game in the way that you want to play it. As far as
Yep.
as far as the story goes, you must not have gotten very far.
I guess not, because I know there's a lot of people that really like this game, and it was I've heard people say that the story took them by surprise,
Yeah,
and that it was much better than they thought it would be.
yeah. I suspect that you have some uncovering to do.
Yeah, for sure.
How many hours have you put in?
Probably around like 4 or 5 hours, maybe.
Yeah. You you have a ways to go.
So not
This is
okay.
a big game, isn't it, Drew?
It can be. There's a lot of side quests. I think you're looking at, if you stick to just the story, I think you're looking at like 20 to 40 hours somewhere in there. That's
Okay.
a wide berth, but
Yep.
but
I
there are
really-
so many side quests and so many like awesome things to see that it's super easy to just be, oh yeah, I'm going to go to my next part in the storyline mission, and then all of a sudden you look at your map and there's this shiny thing up on a mountainside, and you're like, oh, let me go check that out, and then
right.
2 hours
Oh.
pass and you're looking at this beautiful vista of a sunset, and oh, you got
Dude, the visuals in that game.
oh man, unbelievable.
Even for like, when did that game come out?
2016 maybe.
Oh man, that no wonder people are hyped for Forbidden West.
Can't
like
wait.
that is
Like
that game is gonna be visually stunning.
I want to play Miles Morales, right? When I get my PlayStation 5, because I will. I am going to get a PlayStation 5, just probably not until maybe 2022, right? Or yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Miles
Wow,
Miles
patience.
Morales I will buy, but Forbidden West might be a system seller for me. You know what I mean?
Yep.
It looks extraordinary.
Oh yeah, and the Horizon Zero Dawn is extraordinary. So I have faith that this will be as well.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
can't wait to get to
we
that.
haven't seen gameplay yet, but from the trailer they showed, it looks pretty cool. It looks like there's some water biomes now, which is a whole nother area to explore. But
Yeah.
like, speaking of like the different biomes in the first game, I was super surprised. Like some of the areas that you get into, I forget what they call it, but there's a specific like barrier or area that if you go beyond that, it's like extremely dangerous. You encounter all these other sorts of machines. And I think I just got to this like desert-like area, and like it's beautiful. There was like, I remember getting there. I was up on this mountain, and I was supposed to go down, and it was the first time I saw any sort of like flying machines, and there was like a sunset, and I was like, wow, this game's fucking beautiful.
Like how many times have you just stopped to like just look? Like you just stop cold. It's the kind of thing like if you're on an actual hike in person, like scaling a mountain and the sun is rising. Like you stop and you watch that.
Yeah,
like I've
funny.
fucking
Isn't
done that
funny
in
how
this
you do
game.
Yeah, it's funny how you do shit like that too, right?
Yeah.
You get right on the edge of the cliff and you just look around and you're like, wow, somebody built this shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is cool.
Yeah.
Skyrim's like that very much.
Her
so.
hair is viciously flown in the wind.
Yeah.
Love it. Hair physics.
And you know what too? Like I love Aloy as a character. Like
I love she has a couple like quip comments too, which are pretty funny.
she's a smart ass, but she's also a badass.
Yeah.
You know, like
Good combo.
Yeah, totally. And
actually,
like
go ahead.
it's so easy, I think, for games to kind of go down the sexualized route for characters like her, and they don't. She happens to be a woman, but she is 100% badass, 100% capable of just doing things that nobody else can do. You know, and I think she is an absolute role model for young
sure.
women.
I didn't. Actually, going back to kind of like the mechanics of the game too is like one of the coolest things that I actually discovered recently. I think I had done it earlier on, but just hadn't done it in a while. When you like run and jump off a cliff, and there's an area where you can like grapple. And you like run and jump and throw your grapple and then like
the cinematic way that
descend down
man.
So cool. Yeah,
It's so badass.
a lot of really cool fun things to do in that game, like the zip line and stuff where she pulls out her hook and you go freaking zip lining down stuff. Really all around great game, and
have you,
especially for one.
I'm sorry, have you encountered any of the tall necks yet?
I have. I got just one. I think that I like did the override thing on.
Okay. That was
not a bunch. It sounds like I have a lot of time to put into this game.
You do.
Okay. I'm excited.
And like
I'll probably play after this, honestly.
Just enjoy it. Like make it last, because it is a tremendous experience. It's the kind of game where like you have all these side quests, but you want to do them because they're genuinely fun and they make you feel like you're making a difference in that universe.
Yeah, that's cool. That's how I enjoyed the side quests in Spider-Man too.
Yeah, most of them I did. There were a couple that I just kind of bailed out on. The Taskmaster, was it, or?
Yeah, Taskmaster was cool. Actually, you came across him without even wanting to.
Yeah.
There's like side missions, and then like you'd beat one, and then all of a sudden he'd show up and like kick your ass and be like, "Wait, what the fuck?"
Yeah.
And then he'd disappear, and he'd be like, "All right, I don't have to beat this guy." And then you'd do like another couple side quests, and then he'd show up again and kick your ass again. You're like, "What the fuck?"
Yep.
Yeah, that was cool. I like they did a good job with that stuff. But yeah, Horizon. The way you're talking about it, Drew, is kind of the way I talk about God of War, except the only difference is I'm playing Horizon, and you're not playing God of War.
So conversely,
man, guilt trip. Okay. I didn't realize I was going to get double teamed over here today.
that was so like a 3 PS3s kind of moment.
Yeah, right.
Oh,
I
that's
have
great.
3 PS3s. Dude, I'm telling you, he's gonna do 5 PS5s, but I don't know because the consoles just keep getting more and more expensive.